Hi, I'm Jackie Barker and welcome to Lydian.
Hi everyone and welcome to Just Jackie. Now I am so excited today because we have Dean Holmes with us, and Dean Holmes is one of the co-founders of the Wealth Network. So welcome, Dean.
Hey Jackie, thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Now I'm really excited to hear about your story because I think it's so unique. But to start with, can we just hear a little bit about you, who you are? Who is Dean Holmes?
Yeah, so I'm a husband, father, and a want-to-be marathon runner. So I've run 6 marathons, so I'm somewhat addicted to it, and I haven't yet run my last marathon. I don't run them quickly, but I do get them finished, which is part of the effort in training and going for a marathon. And I do like the idea of a marathon in comparison to business, because there's a hell of a lot of training that you have to do in order to get ready to do a run. And I always compare that to business, that there's a lot of stuff we do in the background, a lot of effort that we put in to let other people look at us and go, hey, you're an overnight success. But the reality is they haven't seen the hard work that you have to do to get there.
Yeah, sure. It's all about the journey, hey?
Exactly.
It's the character building side of things. So can you tell us what your job entails exactly?
Yeah, so I've gone on a bit of a journey over the last 5 years in terms of my career. At the moment, I'm now calling myself a business coach or a former financial advisor. I'm still a authorized representative at the moment, but that's not where my passion or job will be going forward. Essentially, now I'm a business coach that helps financial advisors or financial advice businesses improve using a coaching strategy, but also an accountability mechanism as well. And what I suppose makes us different and unique is the fact that I say that I'm the swim coach that has already swum in the pool, the swim coach that can swim next to you or in front of you, in that I'm doing what I've already done what I ask people to do, or I'm happy to be still doing those things that I might ask my clients to do. And it's that ability to say that I've applied that thing in my business already is really valuable in terms of what our coaching deliverable is to our clients.
Yeah, sure. So you're a walking version of what you can achieve.
Exactly. So we still have my business partner and I started a financial planning business about 14 years ago. And so that business still exists today. It's still the business that we test a lot of things on. And it's our poster child of saying that these are the things that we've done in our business: systems, processes, people, accountability. And we want to help our clients copy and paste the good bits of what we've already done in the past without removing the individual nature of each advice business or each advisor. So it's this thing about the back office can be very similar and no client will know the difference. Whereas the front office, where the client's personality, strategies, and just client service desires can all be different.
Yeah, sure. And so what made you make the move from being a full-time financial planner to being a business coach?
So it was an accidental event that got me started, I suppose. But I've always loved business in general. So my parents ran a bricklaying business for almost all of their working life. And I was involved in business with them from a very early age. And my furthest back memory in terms of them running businesses was I used to count the cash on a Thursday night and put it into little yellow envelopes in order to pay the workers on Friday. And so that evolved to me then getting the cash and depositing it into bank accounts because there was no internet banking, and it grew from there. And so I have this grassroots understanding of business, and that's evolved in the fact that I've only been an employee for about 2 years of my entire life. And so this desire to be in business meant that I liked finance and financial advising, and I would actually had the desire to go in and run my own businesses. And then about 7 years ago, I was mentoring an advisor, Ben, and we decided at that time that he was going to quit his job and he wanted to start his business from scratch. And so the opportunity presented itself to give Ben support in terms of everything that we had already learnt and done over the previous 10 years, to take all of that into his practice, still apply his own personality on top of it, but give him some of our learnings and support. And so that started with one, and then we started a second business, Fox and Hair, and we've now started a third, fourth, and fifth. So part of my role now is actually helping advisors who want to start their own practice, and we deliver them support and coaching in that context, as well as me supporting existing businesses as well. But so that's kind of what got me into it, is that I accidentally fell into the side of coaching or mentoring an advisor, but then really realized that I love the business side of financial planning businesses as well. So it's this jack of all trades knowledge that you need to have as a business owner and entrepreneur that I love to support advisors with. Like just this morning, I had a call from an advisor with a client problem, but really it's just a knowledge problem that he hadn't encountered that issue before. And so it's a series of those things as you build your experience that you're able to help people, be it your clients or my financial planning practices, help them in a variety of different ways over time. So that's what got me here today to say that now I'm a business coach helping financial advisors build great financial planning businesses.
Amazing. And so speaking of your clients, what would you say to date is the greatest success story so far for the Wealth Network?
Look, there's two that absolutely come to mind, because they're the two that lots of financial advisors know who they are, I suppose. So the first one being Pivot Wealth and Ben Nash, and then the second one is Fox and Hair, which is Glenn Hare and Jessica Brady. So they're two amazing businesses because they're actually changing the way in which advice is being delivered and challenging that status quo in terms of the you need to have lots of money to see a financial advisor. Your financial advisor needs to have grey hair or short hair. And your financial advisor needs money in order to be able to charge you a fee. And so both of those businesses, in their unique way, has managed to cut through and speak to their target clients, so speak to their community of clients or members. But in addition to that, they've been able to be recognized by their peers and the industry overall for the work that they've done in those businesses. So they're two awesome successes in terms of brands and names that people would know. But it's also just the idea, the small wins that we get over time of one business that I was talking to this morning. We finally got him to have a virtual assistant or a staff member working with him in his business. So the staff member's in Cebu and he's here in Sydney, and just the excitement and I suppose relief on his face for what he's been able to achieve in the last 3 months because he's brought a staff member into the business. And so, yes, that staff member is in a different country, but it's actually the planning, getting ready, the delegating the work and that process and success that's really valuable. And we get to have those little wins along the way as well.
Oh, amazing. That would be so satisfying to see.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. He had a smile on his face today.
And so why do you choose to partner with Lydian?
Great question. So, a couple of things we realize when we think about the mortgage broking or mortgage advice, and so I still think it's advice, even though that it might be called the mortgage broking industries, is there's a big component of advice that needs to be delivered to customers in and around getting their mortgages. And it's the thing that makes a massive financial difference getting it wrong. And I'm talking about interest rates, but I'm also talking about the strategy around structuring and restructuring debt. I think that clients accidentally get themselves caught up when they might sell and buy a property, tax deductible, non-tax deductible debt and things like that. And so having a partner like Lydian and the brokers that work there, they're actually willing and able to work with clients on an ongoing basis to make sure that they're structuring their debt appropriately. And they've had a really good success rate with us in terms of getting the right outcome for clients, which is not always the easiest outcome. So it's really easy to say, I can't do any better, or it's really easy to say, just call your bank and you'll get a better rate. But it's that extra level of support that they provide in order to make sure that we're making the right decisions now, but also if the client situation changes, they're already thinking about that. So that's a great offering from a service provider and a mortgage advisor to make sure that we're getting all of that. And then it's just, the other thing is just the breadth of the team, because they have a support team that works for them in Cebu as well. And so I know the benefit of that. And so their scale in terms of being able to support lots of financial advisors and clients is definitely there. But also that ability to keep the banks accountable after the fact. I've found in the past that some mortgage brokers, they don't, after the deal is done, there's not as much proactive follow-up, whereas Lydian has essentially built a machine that constantly keeps everything up to date in the back end. So they're being a lot more proactive in terms of the contact with the advisor, which then flows through the contact with the client or the member.
Yeah, sure. We're like a big family. As soon as you come in through the Lydian process, you're part of the family. We don't forget about you just because the deal's done and ticked off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Now, one last question. If you could have an unlimited supply of anything, what would you choose and why?
So I was pre-prepared for this question, everyone. So I got it last night and then I struggled with it. And then Jackie reminded me 5 minutes before the call. She said, are you ready for all the questions? And I said, this last one is hard. And then I realized that the thing that you should ask for that cannot be given is time. And so it's a really good context for not necessarily this idea of Jeff Bezos wanting to live forever, but just this ability of having more time in the moments before they disappear. So I was 2 minutes late to this call, so Jackie was given time to prepare for the call. And that's a great amount of time that could get wasted with Instagram, but you can also choose to prepare. And so thinking about time differently is how we choose not to waste it, because it's not infinite, but thinking about how not to waste it and get caught up with things that don't matter and really invest our time. So Jackie, I would love to have unlimited time, but it doesn't work like that. But just being aware of the time that we are using and how we're choosing to use it, I think is really relevant in today's information and digital age.
I love that, Dean. And to be completely honest, when I was thinking of, because we always like to end our interviews with a fun little question like this. And when I was thinking of this question, I was then thinking of my answer, and my answer is time as well, for the exact reasons that you have specified. It is so special, time. We all have it, but we all use it very differently.
Correct.
So thank you for that. And thank you so much for joining us in this interview. I know that a lot of the viewers would have had a lot of information from you being in that mentor space, but also how you got there. So thank you so much, Dean.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jackie, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers.
Bye.